Hello and welcome to the big Ulster Rugby Christmas quiz. My name is Craig Gilroy and on behalf of Ulster Rugby, I want to thank you all for joining in on our online event. We hope you're going to enjoy testing the old brain cells and getting a bit of old-fashioned rivalry going with your friends and fellow participants. There will be a few familiar faces joining us for the quiz to ask 5 rounds of questions tonight, and as we gather together to raise funds for Extern, the chosen charity partner for Ulster Rugby. This has been a difficult year for many of us, but for people who are vulnerable and isolated, it has been especially challenging. That's why it's so important that charities like Extern exist. Sadly, we know coronavirus is having an impact on people in all kinds of ways, including their mental health. But thankfully, Extern have been there as usual and have never walked away. The doors of their services stayed open right through the difficult times of lockdown so that no one experiencing mental health difficulties or who found themselves homeless had to sleep on the streets. They were there when children and families were down, anxious and struggling, and by taking part in this quiz and donating to Extern, you're enabling them to continue that vital work. So let's do this. Let's raise some money for Extern to help support people in your community. There are 2 really quick and easy ways you can do this. You can text Extern 5 to 70970 to give £5, or you can text Extern 10 to give £10 to 70191. If you donate online at extern.org, you could also be in with the chance of winning a prize. Right, let's kick off our first round with the big, the bad, Michael Lowry.
Hey everyone, thanks Craig. I'm Michael Lowry and I'm a member of Ulster Senior Squad. This is certainly a first for me, but I'm delighted to have been invited to join in with the fun with you all and to be part of something really positive after such a challenging year for us all. Through taking part in our quiz and donating to our chosen charity partner, Extern, you're helping to make a real difference to the lives of people who are vulnerable and isolated now and in the months ahead. You can donate really easily at extern.org or via text to the numbers on screen. So, pens at the ready, I'll read each question twice and you'll also see them on the screen. You'll have about 25 seconds to answer each question. So here we go. Our first round is a look back at 2020. Question 1. In the 2020 Brits Awards, Lewis Capaldi won the Best Single Award for which song? In the 2020 Brits Awards, Lewis Capaldi won the Best Single Award for which song? Question 2. Which movie won the most awards, including Best Picture at this year's Oscars? Which movie won the most awards, including Best Picture at this year's Oscars? Question 3. According to Forbes magazine, which CEO this year became the first person in history to have a net worth exceeding $200 billion? According to Forbes magazine, which CEO this year became the first person in history to have a net worth exceeding $200 billion? Question 4. Who became the oldest person to top the UK singles chart in 2020? Who became the oldest person to top the UK singles chart in 2020? Question 5. The 2020 Summer Olympics are postponed until next year. In which city were they due to take place? The 2020 Summer Olympics are postponed until next year. In which city were they due to take place? Question 6. In April, the contactless payment limit for in-store spending was raised to what upper limit? In April, the contactless payment limit for in-store spending was raised to what upper limit? Question 7. Liverpool FC were confirmed as champions of the 2019-2020 Premier League after Man City lost to Chelsea. When did they last win the league? Is it A, 1986, B, 1988, or C, 1990? Liverpool FC were confirmed as champions of the 2019-2020 Premier League after Man City lost at Chelsea. When did they last win the league title? Is it A, 1986, B, 1988, or C, 1990? Question 8. In July, the BBC axed the tea time edition of which programme after 48 years? In July, the BBC axed the tea time edition of which programme after 48 years? Question 9. Earlier this year, RTÉ's iconic The Late Late Show was hosted by a female presenter for the first time. Who was that presenter? Earlier this year, RTÉ's iconic The Late Late Show was hosted by a female presenter for the first time. Who was that presenter? Question 10, and finally for this round, which small market town came to national attention when Dominic Cummings, former chief advisor to Boris Johnson, was discovered to have driven there to test his eyesight? That's which small market town came to national attention when Dominic Cummings, the former chief advisor to Boris Johnson, was discovered to have driven there to test his eyesight? Right, answers at the ready, and don't forget to post your team names and scores down below and on social using the hashtag #BigUlsterRugbyQuiz because you could win a spot prize. So ready? Here's the answers to our first round. Question 1. The answer is someone you loved. Question 2. The answer was Parasite. It was actually the first non-English language film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. Question 3. The answer is none other than Amazon boss, Mr. Jeff Bezos. Question 4. And the answer is none other than Captain Tom Moore, whose charity walk for the NHS set out to raise £1,000 and ended up raising more than £32 million. They say that will probably end up being £39 million with gift aid, so make sure you tick your gift aid box when you're donating to Extern. Question 5. The answer, of course, is Tokyo. Question 6. The answer is £45. Question 7. It was, of course, 1990. Question 8. The answer was News Round. Question 9. The answer is Miriam O'Callaghan. And finally, question 10, the answer is Barnard Castle. I hope you're all happy with your results, and now I have the great pleasure in handing over to Neve Jones.
Thank you, Michael. As Michael said, my name is Neve Jones and I am part of the Ulster Senior Women's squad. As players, we have been proud to support Extern in the different initiatives that they've been supporting us. So if you can please make a donation tonight at extern.org and let's raise funds for their amazing work. They've been helping people through these dark times. But for now, let's get on with round 2. Round 2 is going to be testing your knowledge of our Ulster Rugby players. Before that, here's a joke. What kind of Christmas music do elves listen to? Rap. Right, question 1. Which member of the Ulster Senior Women's squad is part of the Ulster Under-18 coaching squad? Is it A, Beth Cregan, B, Gemma Jackson, or C, Diane Ramsey? I'll repeat that. Which member of the Ulster Senior Women's squad is also part of the Under-18 Ulster Girls coaching squad? Is it A, Beth Cregan, B, Gemma Jackson, or C, Diane Ramsey? Question 2. Which Ulster Senior Women's player also represented Northern Ireland in football at age grade level? Is it A, Gemma Jackson, B, Ella Durkan, or C, Catherine Dane? I'll repeat that. Which Ulster Senior Women player also represented Northern Ireland in football at age grade? Is it A, Gemma Jackson, B, Ella Durkan, or C, Catherine Dane? Question 3. Which Ulster Senior Women's player is also a head coach of an Ulster Rugby Deloitte Premiership team? Is it A, Beth Cregan, B, Ailsa Van Staden, or C, Claire McLaughlin? I'll repeat that. Which Ulster Senior Women's player is also a head coach of an Ulster Rugby Deloitte Premiership team? Is it A, Beth Cregan, B, Ailsa Van Staden, or C, Claire McLaughlin? Question 4. Which Ulster male player was born in Australia in 1989 and moved to the province in 2019? Was it A, Matt Fadez, B, Louis Ludic, or C, Sam Carter? I'll repeat that. Which Ulster male player was born in Australia in 1989 and moved to the province in 2019? Was it A, Matt Fadez, B, Louis Ludic, or C, Sam Carter? Question 5. Who is the current club captain for the Ulster men's team? Is it A, Sam Carter, B, Ian Henderson, or C, Billy Burns? That's who is the current club captain for the Ulster men's team. Is it A, Sam Carter, B, Ian Henderson, or C, Billy Burns? Question 6. Which Ulster Academy player made his first senior appearance against Benetton at home in October? Is it A, David McCann, B, Ethan McElroy, or C, Asia Allison? That's which academy player made his first senior debut against Benton at home in October? Is it A, David McCann, B, Ethan McElroy, or C, Asia Allison? Question 7. Which player joined Ulster in 2014 and was the province's top tackler in 2019 to 2020 season? Was it A, Marcel Coetzee, B, Sean Reedy, C, Alan O'Connor? That's which Ulster player joined Ulster in 2014 and was the province's top tackler in 2019 to 2020 season? Was it A, Marcel Coetzee, B, Sean Reedy, or C, Alan O'Connor? Question 8. For how many seasons was Ian Madigan at Bristol Bears before coming to Ulster? Was it A, 2, B, 3, or C, 4? That's how many seasons was Ian Madigan at Bristol Bears before coming to Ulster? Was that A, 2, B, 3, or C, 4? Question 9. Which player was born on the 11th of March 1991 and marked his debut season with Ulster in 2010 with 8 Celtic League tries? A, Luke Marshall, B, Stuart McCluskey, or C, Craig Gilroy? That's who was born on the 11th of March 1991 and marked his debut season with Ulster in 2010 with 8 Celtic League tries? A, Luke Marshall, B, Stuart McCluskey, or C, Craig Gilroy? Question 10. Which Ulster men's player was born in Enniskillen in 1997 and scored 6 tries for Ulster last season? A, Robert Baloucoune, B, Rob Little, or C, Michael Lowry? That's which Ulster men's player was born in Enniskillen in 1997 and scored 6 tries for Ulster last season? A, Robert Baloucoune, B, Rob Little, or C, Michael Lowry? Okay, ready for the answers. We're expecting full marks. Right, question 1. The answer is B, Gemma Jackson. Question 2. The answer is C, Catherine Dean. Question 3. The answer is A, Beth Cregan. Question 4. The answer is C, Sam Carter. Question 5. The answer is B, Ian Henderson. Question 6. The answer is A, David McCann. Question 7, the answer is B, Sean Reedy. Question 8, the answer is B, 3. Question 9, the answer is C, Craig Gilroy. And finally, question 10, the answer is A, Robert Baloucoune. Thank you to everyone who joined in tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. And of course, I know you got all the answers. And now I'm delighted to hand over to Kieran Treadwell. Enjoy.
Thanks, Neve. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be a part of the big Ulster Rugby Christmas quiz. So let's get going. Now, they did ask me to sing, but I thought I'd spare you all. So the next round is going to be a lyrics round. I'll be reading out a line from each song, and you get 1 point if you name the artist or the group who released the single, and another if you can say the song title as well. Right, let's go. Our first lyric is, "You know I'm just a fool who's willing to sit around and wait for you." I'll say it again. "You know I'm just a fool who's willing to sit around and wait for you." Our second lyric is, "And it's just like the ocean under the moon. Oh, it's the same as the emotion that I get from you." So I'll say that again. "And it's just like the ocean under the moon. Oh, it's the same as the emotion I get from you." Our third lyric is, "How many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry?" I'll say it again. "How many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry?" Our fourth lyric is, "It's a wonderful surprise to see your shoes and your spirits rise." And again, "It's a wonderful surprise to see your shoes and your spirits rise." Our fifth lyric is, "You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind." I'm going to say that again. "You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind." Now for our sixth lyric.
And in our world of plenty, we can spread a smile of joy. Say it once more. And in our world of plenty, we can spread a smile of joy. Our seventh lyric is, I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away, I couldn't fight it. And if you didn't get that, I'll say it once more. I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away, I couldn't fight it. Right, halfway through, I hope you're keeping up now. Our eighth lyric is, remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down. And again, remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down. Our ninth lyric is, no need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man. And second, I will say it again. No need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man. Right, now for our final lyric. And this one is a favourite of mine. So here we go. Scoop, Muck and Dizzy and Rolly too, Lofty and Wendy join the crew. I'll say it one last time. Scoop, Muck and Dizzy and Rolly too, Lofty and Wendy join the crew. Right, that's us all wrapped up now. I'll give you a few minutes to decide or argue amongst yourselves and get started with the answers. Now, if you're all done, it's a perfect time to remind you, and please help us raise some funds and money for Extern this evening by donating online, if you can, to www.extern.org. You could also win a prize if you're lucky. Right, now it's time to reveal the answers. Here we go. Our first lyric was Hopelessly Devoted to You by Olivia Newton-John, a classic from my favourite movie, Grease. Our second lyric was from Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas. Our third one was Yes, It's Blowing in the Wind by the one and only Bob Dylan. Our fourth lyric, that was of course the Cure classic Friday, I'm in Love. Our fifth one was The Wind Beneath My Wings by Bette Midler. Right, lyric number 6, a classic Christmas song from Band-Aid, Do They Know It's Christmas? Our seventh lyric was Someone Like You by Adele. And now for our eighth, it was a tricky one. So it was Halo by Beyonce. Our ninth lyric was, of course, from Imagine by John Lennon. And last but by no means least, my favourite, yes, it was Bob the Builder, a classic, Can We Fix It? I hope you enjoyed the rounds of guessing the lyrics. Don't forget to post your pictures and results below and post on Facebook and Twitter using the hashtag Big Ulster Rugby Quiz for the chance to win a prize. And now we're going to go into a little break, stretch the legs, grab some refreshments, and then we're coming right back for the second last round with Dave McCann of the Big Ulster Rugby Christmas Quiz. Thanks again.
Hello, thank you Kieran and welcome back. As Kieran said before, I'm David McCann and I'm a member of the Ulster Rugby Academy. This is not something I've ever done before, but I'm delighted to help out as Extern have offered great support to the Academy team and our families here at Ulster Rugby. This round is on Irish Rugby, so it'll be getting very competitive here. Here we go. Question 1. Which of these players is the most capped Ulster player for Ireland's men's team? A. David Humphreys, B. Rory Best, or C. Tommy Bowe? I'll say that again. Which of these players is the most capped Ulster player for Ireland's men's team? A. David Humphreys, B. Rory Best, or C. Tommy Bowe? Question 2. Which Ulster player made his Irish debut versus South Africa in 2012? A. Rob Herring, B. Ian Henderson, or C. Jack McGrath? Question 2 again. Which Ulster player made his Irish debut versus South Africa in 2012? A. Rob Herring, B. Ian Henderson, or C. Jack McGrath? Question 3. How many women from Ulster Rugby were selected for the Ireland squad to play Italy in November? A. 2, B. 3, or C. 4? I'll say that again. How many women from Ulster Rugby were selected for the Ireland squad to play Italy in November? A. 2, B. 3, or C. 4? Question number 4. Which 2 Ulster women's players made their international 15s debut against Italy in November? A. Neve Jones and Catherine Dean, B. Brittany Hogan and Catherine Dean, or C. Brittany Hogan and Neve Jones? I'll say that one again. Which 2 Ulster women's players made their international 15s debut against Italy in November? A. Neve Jones and Catherine Dean, B. Brittany Hogan and Catherine Dean, or C. Brittany Hogan and Neve Jones? Question number 5. Which Ulster player made his Irish debut versus England in 2014? A. Jodie Murphy, B. Rob Herring, or C. Jack McGrath? I'll say that one again. Which Ulster player made his Irish debut versus England in 2014? A. Jodie Murphy, B. Rob Herring, or C. Jack McGrath? Question number 6. Which Ulster player scored Ireland's only try in their 16-9 victory over New Zealand in November 2018? A. Rory Best, B. Ian Henderson, or C. Jacob Stockdale? I'll just go over question number 6 again. Which Ulster player scored Ireland's only try in their 16-9 victory over New Zealand in November 2018? A. Rory Best, B. Ian Henderson, or C. Jacob Stockdale? Question number 7. How many Ulster players were selected for the Ireland Autumn Nations Cup squad? A. 3, B. 4, or C. 5? I'll just say that again. How many Ulster players were selected for the Ireland Autumn Nations Cup squad? A. 3, B. 4, or C. 5? Question number 8. When did the Ireland's men's team last win a Grand Slam? A. 2017, B. 2018, or C. 2019? I'll just go over question 8 again. When did the Ireland's men's team last win a Six Nations Grand Slam? A. 2017, B. 2018, or C. 2019? Question number 9. When did the Ireland women's team last win a Six Nations Grand Slam? A. 2013, B. 2014, or C. 2015? Question 9 again. When did the Ireland's women's team last win a Six Nations Grand Slam? A. 2013, B. 2014, or C. 2015? And finally, question 10. How many times has the Ireland men's team won a Six Nations Grand Slam? A. 1, B. 2, or C. 3? I'll just say that again. How many times has the Ireland men's team won a Six Nations Grand Slam? A. 1, B. 2, or C. 3? Question 1, the answer is B. Rory Best. Question 2, the answer is B. Ian Henderson. Question 3, the answer is B. 3. Question 4, the answer is C. Brittany Hogan and Neve Jones. Question 5 is A. Jodie Murphy. Question 6 is C. Jacob Stockdale. Question 7, the answer is C. 5. Question 8, the answer is B. 2018. Question 9, the answer is A. 2013. And finally, question 10, the answer is C3. Hope you all got on well there, and now it is my pleasure to hand you over to Ella Durkan for the last round of our big Ulster Rugby Christmas quiz. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Hello everyone. It's great to be here. It's not every day you get asked to be part of something that can make such a difference to people who are vulnerable and isolated. So thank you all for joining us, and thank you to Extern for letting me take part in this. This is our final round this evening, and I hope you're all doing well. I know they say it's the taking part that counts, but none of us like to lose in Ulster Rugby, do we? So let's go then. You might want to get your Santa hats on for this one, as it's got a bit of a festive flavour. Question 1. Many people argue whether the original Die Hard counts as a Christmas movie, but which city is it set in? That's, many people argue whether the original Die Hard counts as a Christmas movie, but which city is it set in? Question 2. In The Muppets Christmas Carol, who played Scrooge? Hint, it wasn't a Muppet. That's, in The Muppets Christmas Carol, who played Scrooge? Hint, it wasn't a Muppet. Question 3. Stormzy was beaten to the Christmas #1 slot last year by which artist and which song? You get half a point for each. I'll repeat that. So Stormzy was beaten to the Christmas #1 slot last year by which artist and which song? You get half a point for each. Question 4. Earlier this year, which platinum selling music act released a charity single in aid of Extern? That's, earlier this year, which platinum selling music act released a charity single in aid of Extern? Question 5. Which popular Christmas movie features a cameo by Donald Trump? That's, which popular Christmas movie features a cameo by Donald Trump? Question 6. In which children's classic novel is it always winter but never Christmas? I'll repeat that for you. So, in which children's classic novel is it always winter but never Christmas? Question 7. Which Christmas hit, originally released in 1984, has been #1 in the UK charts 3 times? That's, which Christmas hit, originally released in 1984, has been #1 in the UK charts 3 times? Question 8. Which date each year is traditionally known as Little Christmas or Woman's Christmas in Ireland? That's, which date each year is traditionally known as Little Christmas or Woman's Christmas in Ireland? Question 9. Which takeaway food is so popular in Japan at Christmas that it often has to be ordered weeks in advance? That's, which takeaway food is so popular in Japan at Christmas that it often has to be ordered weeks in advance? Question 10, and finally, our last question of our 2020 Big Ulster Rugby Christmas quiz. Which of these festive classics is the only one to have been UK Christmas #1? Is it A, Last Christmas by Wham? B, All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey? C, Merry Christmas Everyone by Shakin' Stevens? Or D, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day by Wizard? Which of these festive classics is the only one to have been UK Christmas #1? Is it A, Last Christmas by Wham? B, All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey? C, Merry Christmas Everyone by Shakin' Stevens? Or D, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day by Wizard? And that is our final round. We'll give you a few seconds to have a glance over what you've written down, and then we'll get started with the answers. No cheating. And if you're all done, then now is the perfect time to remind you all to please help us raise some funds for Extern this evening by donating online at www.extern.org. You could also win a prize. So, ready for your answers. Question 1. Loads of you will have got this. The answer is Los Angeles. Question 2. The answer was Michael Caine. Question 3. How could you forget? The answer was Lad Baby with I Love Sausage Rolls. Question 4, and the answer is our very own Two Door Cinema Club. Question 5, the answer is Home Alone 2. Question 6, the answer, The One and Only, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. Question 7, it is of course Band-Aids, Do They Know It's Christmas? Question 8, the answer is the 6th of January. Question 9, the answer was KFC. And finally, question 10, the answer is C, Merry Christmas Everyone by Shakin' Stevens. Well done everyone, and now back to our MC.
And that's us. The final whistle has blown for the 2020 Big Ulster Rugby Christmas Quiz. We hope it didn't get too tense. It's time to add up your scores and get posting them and your picks online or below using the hashtag Big Ulster Rugby Quiz, and Extern will be in touch with you if you're one of their lucky prize winners when you make a donation or post on social media. And if you can, please do visit www.extern.org and make whatever donation you can, or text the numbers on the screen now to donate £5 or £10 and enable Extern to keep on changing lives. But whatever you do, Extern have asked us to encourage you to make sure you're doing all you can to look after your own mental health. If you need advice for yourself or you're worried about someone else, then you can visit www.extern.org for lots of advice and also to find out contact details for their community projects. Thank you to all our players who took part and to all of you joining in. You are champions, and your donations as part of our quiz will enable Extern to keep changing lives. Everyone here at Ulster Rugby hopes you really enjoyed the quiz. And remember, you can tell your friends and family who missed it that it's still available to play anytime on our Facebook and YouTube channels. So from me, Ulster Rugby and Extern, we wish you all a very happy and healthy Christmas. Thank you.